Okay, so we're going to do a construction of a Salsa Sarah. I've been asked by many people. Well, one person actually asked me, so I had nothing else to do, so I thought I would do it. Look a bit rough and rugged, that's because I am, and I'm in lockdown. Who cares? Okay, so I'm going to make my way over to my workshop. As you can see, it's there, and my house is there, so I can perfect self-isolation. There's one of the hens, just randomly. So we're into the workshop, and we're going to, I'm going to give you a list, like a cutting list of the things you'll need when you start to build a Salsa Sarah. And she is really quite easy to make out of accessible things that you'll have in your kitchen, possibly in your garage. You don't need paint, you just need some screws and a screwdriver and the odd thing. So I'll just quickly run through the list of items you'll need. Jumping straight into the finished product, here we have Salsa Sarah or Salsa Guy with lipstick in their finished state. So as you can see, we have the base, which is made out of, in this case, kitchen worktop. I actually used 4x2 for the stem, if you like, for want of a better word. I used a piece of 2x2 in the bottom. I used the plywood shower board for the brackets. Screwed all that to the base. I then put a cross piece on for the arms, stuck the head on, and then I used some stuff called climber tube, which is pipe lagging, pipe insulation, and basically screwed that on to the ends. And as you can see, well, it worked quite well, didn't it? So I'll break it down and just say how we built it. So first of all, obviously, tape measure, pencil, a square. It's a bit like the generation game, isn't it? A cuddly toy. You'll need a 5mm drill bit. And if you want to be very particular, a countersink bit. A cordless drill or screwdriver is fine, screwdriver drill. You then need some screws. These are the screws I used because, well, I've got a good selection of screws, but these are the ones I used, okay? Then obviously you're going to have a head somewhere in your house. There'll be someone's toys or something you can dismantle. You've got to be inventive. Then you need a base. This is 3/4 MDF. I use some kitchen worktop, but all you need is something with a bit of weight so that you can actually create that balance so that the weight's at the bottom and it's light at the top, which is why polystyrene heads are good. Then we've got a bit of ply. This is a piece of the waterproof board that you put around showers to make the bracket work with. Bit of 3x2, okay, I'm sure you've all got some of that. And some casters, I'll tell you what's good is a office chair. So if you take the top off and you have the bit at the base, then all you need to do is put a piece of timber on, if you can screw that on with a flat base. For instance, if you were to take this, screw this in underneath, from underneath, okay, and then use the fork. Here we have a fine example of an office chair tipped on its back. There we are. You could screw a base onto there, very lightweight base obviously, because you'll need the weight at the bottom, and then you can extend your Sarah up from there. That would be ideal. I wish I'd thought of that before I took the casters off my machinery. Never mind. To screw that into the chair base, you've got to use your imagination a little bit, okay? So from there, you then we're going to put it all together. So here we are with the base, and as you can see, quite manoeuvrable, which is why a office chair is very good. Maybe not great on lines, but there you go. Oh, here we go. So, my first inspiration was to get some casters from one of my pieces of machinery and dismantled it. I then screwed them, because they come on this base, screwed them onto the worktop with some 2-inch screws, okay, which then created quite a heavy base for Sarah. And the idea is to have the weight at the bottom, because then she's quite stable and won't tip over. So this base size is 600 by 500 mil, okay, so that's 2 feet by 2 foot something. Yeah, very good. So then what I did, I went down through my bench saw. I cut the 2" by 2" square piece of timber. I then drilled with the drill bit and with the countersink piece. I screwed 4 screws into that piece of timber. What you need to do ideally is make a cross, find the centre, measure equidistance out to screw this to, okay? I then took the plywood and I used the crosscut saw, the radial arm crosscut saw, and I cut my miters, okay? And what I did, I screwed those onto the 2x2 first, okay? Because that 2x2 is the same thickness as the 4x2, okay? So by putting these on first, it then means that this is quite a good tight fit to go in. So I drilled 5 screw holes on either for each one, countersunk them, and again with the 2" screws, I screwed those in. Obviously, this is 3/8 plywood, so I've got plenty of thickness on there to work with. So once I'd screwed those in, I then popped the main beam in, and I used my square. Sure you've all got one of these, sliding bevel square. Okay, I found plumb. Okay, vertical. Plumb is plumb, vertical is square. Okay, so well, plumb is square. Who knows? Anyway, so once I got that into there, I then drilled in with my 5mm drill bit. I then went in with my countersink bit, and then I put the screws in. Now on this, I only used the 1¼ screws, okay, and I basically screwed those in, like so. Bit of live action. There used to be a man on television called Norm Abram, and he used to have a thing called the New Yankee Workshop. We can alter the name for that, but I think it's a bit rude for here. Okay, so we're going to lift it down onto the floor. We're now left with the top. So, what we need to do, as I mentioned in the parts list, we need a head, okay? So, don't rob your child's favourite toy, but we do need a head. So, here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, that's it, that's it. I got a saw, hand saw, off she came, job done. So, we get the head. Then what I did, I put 2 6" nails. I knocked them into the timber, and then I used my drill bit again, and I drilled into the head, and then I used some, what you call it, liquid nails. There's several different makes out there, and I stuck it on, okay? I use a thing called quick grip, which takes about half an hour to set. So then you've got a good solid head. Try and get it as level as you can. Mine's a bit wonky, but wonky donkey, who cares? Okay, now, that height for the whole of Sarah is 5'4". Similar height to Angela, actually. So then, what I'm going to do, I'll just move the camera a touch. Very unprofessional, but there you go. Okay, so then what I did, I tried to estimate what width the lady's shoulders were. I actually made the shoulders 48 centimetres, 480 millimetres, okay. The timber that the ladies that we made for the main beam is 1,250 millimetres or 125 centimetres. Okay, so again I drilled through into here and I used my 2 3/4 inch screws to go into there. Look, I left it a bit loose, obviously for the shimmy. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm sticking with. Okay, I then got my climber tube. I screwed that onto the end, and actually it makes a quite good resistance. I was going to use bits of wood or bits of cardboard, but I improvised, I adapted, and I overcame. So, that is how Sarah came to be. Obviously, quite solid and manoeuvrable. So I hope this helps, and in your time of need, you can construct something along the same lines. So this is Richard at the new Wonky Workshop. Check it out.